Okay, so it's been almost 30 minutes. I cannot stay awake anymore. So, I'm gonna finish this up. So here are the loaves. They have gotten a little bigger, but it'll be fine. So I've got my bowls, and if you have a tea towel, then you'll want to go ahead and line it. But also make sure you have a tea towel to put on top, or either, put your towel in like halfway, so then you can use the tail to like cover it over. Anyway, so you're gonna want to make sure. I use all-purpose flour because I just always have it. But I would really love to get semolina flour, and if you have it, then this would be the place to use it, because flour is absorbed pretty well by bread dough, but semolina is not absorbed, and so as well. So it makes for a lot better, like a lot less stickiness when you're trying to, because you're gonna dump the bread straight from here out into your hot cast iron pot, and if it gets stuck, then it's not going to be pretty. So you're gonna either want to make sure you're putting a lot of all-purpose flour or semolina, enough so that you are pretty sure that the dough is not going to stick. So I use probably like about 2 handfuls of flour, or maybe 1.5, because I have had it stick a few times, and it is not fun. So I don't know if you can see about how much I'm doing. It's pretty lined with flour. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my other bowl while I've got my hand in the flour pot. So hopefully it won't stick. Okay, so those are my 2 bowls, and then I have got my bench scraper back, and what you're gonna want to do is with your first little shaped loaf, we're gonna do the second shaping. So in order to do that, remember this has had like a nice little surface tension, so you're gonna want to keep that going. So in order to do that, you're gonna use your bench scraper, kind of like get it loose from around the edges, and then you're gonna want to flip it over. So now, like, ugly side, clean side, right? So your ugly side, or your bottom, you're going to want to do the same thing that we did for the first shaping. You're going to want to fold in each of the 4 corners into the center, or about 3/4 of the way across. So I've got my 3rd one. You're forming a really beautiful package now. And then my 4th corner. So it's a nice little envelope, they call it. And then what I do is, again, the Peter Reinhardt method also. So I will pick it up with my hands, and I like there to be even more of this surface tension on the crust. So I'll do this probably about like 4 or 5 times until I'm sure that my surface tension here is as tight as it's gonna go without starting to kind of rip. And we're getting there. So what you're gonna do is take one of your bowls here, and remember, what's gonna be on the bottom is gonna become the top. So you're not gonna flip it over. you are gonna let that nice surface tension drop straight down into your bowl and kind of like pinch the top here. Because remember, this is gonna become your bottom. You're gonna flip it straight over upside down into your cast iron. So this is gonna go in the fridge overnight. I like the overnight fermentation. I think it makes it taste even better. You can wait about 2 hours and then go ahead and bake this. But I really like the overnight fermentation. I think it completely transforms the bread. So it's a cold fermentation versus the room temperature. So again, I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna fold in the 4 corners of my bread, just like that. Makes like a beautiful little package. And Chad Robinson, who does tartine, he usually stops there, but I like to have that little extra surface tension on the top. So to me it makes a better crust, and I like crust. If I had to choose, I would go for the crust. But anyway, but really experiment and whatever you like to want to try. It's very interesting to see like the different results. So, okay, so I've got my lovely little top here that's on the bottom, and that's gonna go straight down into the flour. Kind of like pinch the top here. And then you don't need any flour or anything on the tops of these. These 2 beautiful things are gonna go straight in the fridge overnight. I usually do 12 hours in the fridge. So it's midnight, so I'll be baking around noon tomorrow. But it can go 8 hours or it can go 18 hours. So whenever kind of works. But I like the 12 hours. I would probably not go over, 18 hours in the fridge. But then I will show you another video tomorrow about the next step and making, actually the baking and making the slices on the top of the bread. So have a good night's sleep. I'll see you tomorrow.